Hello there everybody and welcome back to Grand Bazaar. We are now on the 4th day of fall and this is time for our very first bazaar of the season, which is pretty exciting because it means that I'll actually get a nice start to how I want my fields to ultimately look. I've only had a chance to really start out with the eggplants from Raoul's store. So to prepare myself for after the bazaar, I'm going to go ahead and till my entire field. I can actually jump and save a little bit of time as well. I don't need stamina today really, so this will get everything all tilled nice and quickly. It's looking like we have the first of our fall tea leaves coming in at almost 5-star quality at this point, which is very, very nice. And I've done a little bit of inventory management. I do still have a few things to kind of move around here, but for the most part I'm pretty happy with how things look. I've got lots and lots of cooked dishes. I've really condensed down what I'm keeping for crops. I've made a lot of seeds. And then I have some miscellaneous stuff in here as well. Some tea cans, some perfume, some wool. I've got bugs that are somewhat profitable to sell. And because I don't have any necklaces to sell this time around, I figured we could sell some of our ores. Especially the fluorite. I don't really have a whole lot of uses for these. And I still have plenty of amethysts to use to make necklaces once I have the right ores. I'm probably going to just toss my fish. I'm back to half a star of quality unless I upgrade my fishing rod. So I think I would rather just kind of dump those and make some room for a few more profitable items. I will go ahead and water my eggplants here before we go. And then I can drop off my tools and save a little bit of space. There's a few things that I can grab from the windmills, but I'm not too worried. I think what we have now is pretty good. I will milk my cows simply because I will most likely forget if I don't do it now. And that also means that I'll be able to put my milker away as well. So 9:30, a good time to get ourselves moving towards the bazaar so we can make it on time. I've got a few spaces available, so I can pick up some flowers on the way. I don't have any more seeds to pick up, however, I do have a little bit of yogurt that we can toss in there, a little bit more cheese as well, and I also have a little bit of yarn. I'm gonna keep my eye out for red and blue flowers along the way. Doesn't really look like there's much in the way of those though, unfortunately. Four balls of wool is decent. And unfortunately, I could only fit one of those red flowers in my bag, but that's okay. managed to kind of do as much as I could with the inventory space that I had, so not really anything new here in terms of food items, cooked dishes, or really anything else at the bazaar today that we're going to be selling. I don't know that we've actually sold these gems as a single item before. They're all worth $7,200, so it would take selling quite a few of these to make up for the profit that you would get from a necklace. However, it's just still something to have as some additional income, just to make sure that we meet the goal today. Although the 21 leftover pineapples that I have from summer should help us out with that dramatically as well. And then we still have our corn and our grass seeds, so I've got quite a few money-making items here. Just have to see how we do. Off to a good start so far. Big crowds of people walking by. We've managed to get rid of quite a few items. And then we even have a little bit of a lull here to put stuff out. And I'm more trying to sell as many items as I can just to keep up with the sales goal, more than I am trying to make money at this point. And I was not paying attention and I chose the wrong option, but you know what, that's okay. We have lots of time to catch up today. I'm not too worried about it. If you're gonna make mistakes, it's good to do it nice and early. Selling a good amount of those pineapples. We're at $87,000. Almost hitting $100,000 in our first hour here, so I don't think the goal is going to be an issue, especially with Miss Moneybags here, who is now going to buy this pineapple for double the price. Absolutely incredible. Because I'm certainly not low on cash by any means. I have $1.3 million, and I think it would be really difficult for me to spend that even if I tried. But I do like to keep within the top 3 sales at the bazaar, which really hasn't been too much of a problem for us. It does get a little bit difficult when you get to the 75% expansion, just kind of depending on what items you have. And it might be a little bit more difficult next time if we no longer have pineapples and we don't have any more necklaces. But I still have lots and lots of seeds to sell. And I still make use of as many resources as I can to keep lots of cooked foods on hand and whatnot. The tea leaves also bring in a pretty decent profit, even only having 1 plant, which is nice. 144,000. I figured giving away an item for free wasn't going to set me back too much here. We are doing pretty well. I'm very, very happy with how things are going. Especially considering it is 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm certainly not trying to break my record that we set previously. And when I thought back on it, I thought to myself, I probably could have actually shot for a little bit higher of a goal if I had brought those gems with me to sell as well, because I've mostly been sitting on those. But maybe that'll be something that I kind of shoot for when I'm ready to sort of end this game, is just going for the highest possible sales goal that I can have and just laying it all out on the table, holding nothing back, selling all my gems, necklaces, high value crops. Nearing 200,000 now. Still have lots of time in the day, but slowly getting through our inventory. I'm not going to be too worried about getting rid of all of our seeds, but I will put out all of my bugs, and I'll try to get rid of all of my salads. And this is another instance where I will probably just stay until 6 because that's what I normally do. That's just kind of my routine. It's very unlikely that I'm going to run out of items, but on a day like today where I've got a lot of planting and watering and stuff to do, probably not necessary to stay all the way until the end of the bazaar. If you're confident with your sales, and you don't need to stay behind to get every last penny. And of course, our NPCs will now change. Antoinette and Dirk will no longer swing by. They're summer bazaar people, but we will have Angelo come and say hello to us. And Daisy will walk by, but she doesn't come to the stall and talk with us. She's kind of like Freya, where I'll see her in the background, but it's pretty rare that she will come to the desk and actually buy anything from us. And our sales now have dwindled significantly. It's really slowed down this afternoon. So it's a good thing that we were busy early on and we managed to sell quite a bit early on. There's still a crowd, but again, I just sort of have this feeling, this suspicion that once you start to place items out that are too similar to each other, it really does slow your traffic down. So 2 more hours. At this point, $232,000. We may not get first place. Just kind of depends on how they decide to set that up randomly. But I think by the end of the day, we're not going to have any problems. And even though I screwed up earlier and I gave the wrong response, we've had a pretty steady stream of people pop by to ask us questions since that point. So I'm not overly concerned there. So if I wanted to get a head start on my planting, I would probably leave around now. Maybe I would leave an hour early at about 5 o'clock. But I've already played ahead of time. I've already done the work to plant everything, and I'll be showing off my configuration in another video. So I'm not actually worried about getting home early to do that in this video, but if I was playing on my own, I would probably be getting out of here a little bit earlier. We might be able to make it close to 300,000 here, just depending on if we have some last minute sales coming in. All of the seeds are worth a decent amount of money, So, I mean, if they're $500 a pop and we sell a decent amount of them, then I think it was worth staying just to increase our profits by a little bit of extra. Just give us that little extra boost here. And it looks like we're gonna stop things at around $283,000. So we still have some salads left, but other than that, I sold everything fresh that I wanted to sell, and I even managed to sell one bag of corn seeds, which is excellent. So as for shopping today, we have a lot of seeds to buy. So from Chen, we are once again going to fill up an entire field of yellow pepper seeds, like we did last year. And you think about how long it took us to sell all of those seeds. So if we start making seeds right from the get-go and don't even sell any of the crops, like we did last year, then those should carry us well into next year again. So I bought an entire field worth of those. Carrots are a very, very profitable crop, and we were able to grow some of those last year and see that in action. But I'm not gonna plant a whole field of these. I'm gonna split this up with other crops. So my plan is to buy 36 of these, and this should be enough seeds to last me for 2 weeks worth. The other crop that Chen is not selling today that I would buy from him if he had them are cauliflower, because they take a very, very long time to grow and they don't replenish. I would say that they're kind of similar to pumpkins that we grew in the summertime. So I would buy a few of those, but I wouldn't prioritize growing those over some of the other options that I have today. And then from Raoul, I'm going to buy 27 yam seeds. Now this is going to fill out the other half of my field with the eggplants. They are going to share the field with my eggplants. And my spinach is going to share the field with my carrots. So I am once again going to buy 36 of these. Probably one of the more costly seeds, and not one of the most profitable from what I can recall. However, they grow very, very fast, 5 to 6 days, and I've purchased 36 bags like I've done with the carrots, which should get me through 2 weeks worth. So if I manage to grow spinach before the next bazaar rolls around, then I can plant them again and I don't have to have a delay in that at all, and I can kind of keep things running. So basically have purchased a little bit of everything, and I've found a way to sort of split that all up in between my 3 fields. And then from Lloyd, I'm going to buy 2 pieces of copper. Copper is the only ore that I'm currently missing in order to keep up my necklace production, and it's by far the cheapest one. I don't know why that of all ores I'm having a difficult time finding, because it's the most common type. So I'm gonna get my necklace production going once again. And I haven't really seen any food that's jumping out at me as anything too spectacular. Buy myself a replacement cat, bell, and dog bone, which it's looking like is something I'm gonna have to replace like every bazaar because I keep losing them. I don't know how. And then if you missed out on growing a tea seed last year, fall is the only season that Sherry will sell these at her stall. So if you've seen me grow one and you've liked how profitable it is and how you can get stuff all season long, all year long, then feel free to buy one of these. It's pretty cheap just to get one started. However, it does take a month for this to actually come in. So if you start now, you really won't be able to get any tea leaves until spring of next year. And then Diego doesn't really have anything for us either that I'm all that interested in. So, leaving with $1.5 million, we did spend a little bit of that money, but not much. But we have everything that we need to fill out our fields and to have a nice fall bounty. Our farm is gonna look colorful, and it's great because we're gonna have the opportunity to turn all of those crops into seeds this time around in time for it to make a difference. I believe fall of last year is when we unlocked our windmill, and we didn't get that until fairly late into the season. So this time around, we already have that ability going in, so we can increase the quality of our crops this year with lots of time in order to do that all season long. Geez, it's my wedding date today, so I actually had to sit through the entire wedding ceremony before I could get to these Bazaar results to end off the video. Obviously, getting first place was a misplaced concern of mine. We are well above second place by like 100,000 and change. It is very weird sometimes how they randomly choose how people place, because sometimes the person who comes in first is above the goal, but they were all kind of either below or like right in the middle this time. So good for us. Top 3 with best reputation, and we'll get ourselves another peach tea can. I didn't quite catch how much that sold for today, but I think it was around $1,700. So again, freebie, I'll take it. And apparently my storage is completely full, which means that I obviously have to do a little bit of maintenance here, but I should be able to get rid of a few of the items. I'll get rid of the gold, for example, and some of the copper by making some necklaces for myself. I still have a few bugs that I have to get through, although I have actually thrown a lot away, if you can believe that. And then I'm gonna have to be kind of careful with making myself more grass seeds or more corn seeds, because I currently have a lot of seeds here in my storage that I also have to sort of sort through. So I'm sure that I will be busy this week, and it's kind of a short week because we have 2 bazaars in the same week time span. But I'm going to organize my inventory, get my basement sorted out, and then I'm also going to plant all of that I've got here in my inventory and make the farm look nice and pretty and start getting it nice and profitable. And there really isn't anything else going on this week in terms of festivals or anything like that, so it will probably just be the next Bazaar day that you'll see me, and maybe a little brief update on the farm along the way. So I'm looking forward to getting started on getting all of my production going for this season, and I will update you all as soon as I can. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that I will see you next time.